attendance. Public participation. We have a couple of guests in the audience. Are you here to participate or you have something you want to say?
Yes, I can say it now if this is the time for it. Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So hello, we are the Heckenkamp family. This is Brian. He works in construction and remodeling. And I am Julie, a successful wildlife content creator who recently started her own 501c3 nonprofit. We also have 3 young children. And 9 days ago, we viewed the Wild Prairie Farm property and quickly fell in love with it. Since then, we've been doing little else but imagining what our lives there could be like. With a lot of work, we think it could be something really beautiful. We have also been in contact with Kat, the historic preservation specialist, and we've spoken in detail about how we can best tackle this project while also keeping the property's historical integrity intact. With much thought, we submitted an offer today, and we wanted the board to know that every penny that we don't spend on the initial purchase of the home will go straight towards its restoration. And we sincerely hope you would consider our offer, and thank you for protecting a piece of Washtenaw County's history.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wanna thank you, and it's good to meet you. It's nice to meet whole families.
Yeah.
It's actually the Scioto Township Board of Trustees will be and that I'm a member of, Jillian's a member of a trustee, I'm the clerk.
Okay.
So it's Scioto Township as an entity that's selling 7970 West Liberty, the Wild Prairie Farm. This body here is the Loch Alpine Sanitary Authority.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I thought it was
really good to meet you. It's okay.
Nice to meet you.
Sure, I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah.
We appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah, so, but yeah, definitely it's listed, and I know that it's, on the market, and we are, working through a realtor on that.
Mhm.
And so when that process moves forward, it will eventually, probably pretty soon, at some point, come to a next Scioto Township board meeting.
Okay.
But if you have, any questions about the process, you can talk to the realtor, or you can, contact me, the township clerk, Jessica.
Okay,
Look
great.
at that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should be a distraction.
We'll head out. So we won't.
There, we thought we had an audience.
There are favorite members of the public commenters so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah, good.
All right,
Now, kids, don't think every township meeting is that short.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Okay, having said that, approval of the lots of meeting minutes from January. They are the first thing after the agenda on in your package.
And Dave, did you want me to see if there's any interested public online?
Oh, yes.
Any interested public online? We just have one member of the public. If so, raise your Zoom hand. Okay, I see no interested. Go on, Dave, sorry.
Okay, thanks for closing the gap there. Okay, so we have the meeting minutes, January 8th meeting. Pages 3 through 6 of the package.
I'll move that we approve the January meeting minutes, provided you correct the spelling of my name.
Where?
Item 5.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Kings.
Kingsley, motion, we have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Julian? Here, second.
Spell my name right.
Okay. No presentations to the board, nothing there. We'll move on to operational issues, and I guess Ted, why don't you start with your information, if you could.
So we finally finalized the memo regarding the golf course easements. I think to summarize it, the end result was Mr. Fink suggested we not finalize the easements at this point in time, but write a letter to the board that kind of documented where we were, the position that we were at currently. So we did that, and the ops committee had some issues with it, so we kind of battered the idea around, and the final letter is in the packet, correct, Dave?
Yes,
Basically saying, if at the time that the golf courses are developed, then the easements would be, established at that point in time, but until then, there's no compelling reason to do so. No. It's more of an informational piece, I believe.
yep, pages 8 through, you got all the easements, some of the easements in there too.
We
And
drafted out stuff that.
yeah, there's quite a few pages, 8 through, keep going.
Are you looking for the last meeting? Yeah. This is a.
This is it.
Thanks. Back there. Yep.
Yeah, wherever. All right, is there anything to go through on that? I think it just basically states where we left off and what's been done, so we can pick this up at any time and, be, finalized if it becomes an issue.
That's great to keep for our files. Is it important enough to keep on our website at all? Or is that not necessary?
I don't think it's necessary,
Okay,
I don't, but
I would go a step further and say it'd be better not to put it on the
Yeah.
website, because if it's in a draft form, and it's on the website, 10 years from now, somebody's gonna say, hey, the easement exists, and this is the
Yeah.
verbiage of it. If we just, we need to earmark it and have it in our files,
you got it.
but I don't think we want it on our website.
Okay, I'll put it in the organizational documents.
Jordan organization.
This is the last meeting.
All right, I guess that, anything, other discussion on the, easements? Moving forward then, Ted?
The reliability study is done, and that was sent out late this afternoon, 3:30 or so, so I apologize for the lateness of it. I didn't have a chance to review it, but basically, there are no pressure or flow issues with the development. With kind of the minor exception of the elevated tank is a bit too small. It's always been a bit too small in terms of providing a full fire flow. That said, there's really no, we took care of many of the small water mains in the 2016-17 projects. So there's a few to do, but there's not a whole lot to talk about this. I mean, there's 535 customers today, and there's gonna be 535 customers in 20 years based on what we know today. So there are no future issues that we see.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say from that document, it clearly states, that we have a capacity, there's room, we have some room. What did you say? It was, 200, no, max flow is about,
You're gonna be a new look, aren't you?
geez, I can't. But anyway, we have some capacity available.
The wells have adequate capacity to serve what you have now, plus some, right? That's kind of the question, right?
And the wastewater plant is a little,
Yeah, this study was focused on the water system, but the wastewater
oh,
plant
that's right.
would be more, is more
Controlling factor.
closer to its rated capacity than the water system. There's a lot excess capacity in the water system compared to the wastewater.
In your report, you I didn't get much of a chance to look at it, but, you stated that none of the three pumps are, pumping at their rated capacity. Is there, any failure, that is, keeping them from doing so? Is there any delayed maintenance that we need to get caught up on? Or is it just the hydraulics?
I believe it's normal wear and tear. The screen at the bottom of the well can get impacted, clogged, and that changes hydraulics some. I think the wells were replaced, 10 years ago. And they're gonna just wear out a little bit as they age. So there could be some things to do in the future, but I don't think there's anything imminent. And they're not to the point where,
Can you graph that?
I'm sorry.
Can you graph that to show us what day we need to do that?
We can take a look at that, yeah, see if there's records of what the capacities were several years ago, and if there's we can look at that.
Yeah, basically, you got,
Do you use Raymer or somebody else?
For the well testing,
Well testing.
Brandon, do you know? Who tests the wells?
I know Ann Arbor Well's been doing your work. This year we're planning to get some quotes to do well pulling inspects and flow testing on those wells. To Ted's point, the screens, I would like to have them cambered, but I'm pretty sure it was just Ann Arbor Well that was doing them. So we can look and see if, I know they've still got some records because when we did well number 3, they had all those records. So but other than that, I don't know any
so
more on
you,
those wells.
so have you got, well testing scheduled? Did you say, Brandon?
No, I've got to get a couple quotes. If you guys would like, I can get Ann Arbor Well. There's another municipal well company, Northern Well, that I've used in the past to kind of see prices. I'm just not sure if Ann Arbor Well does like casing cambering. I know Northern Well does, so it's something I got to check on.
They basically drop a camera into the well, so you can see what's going on.
Well, you basically gotta replace those things every 20 years anyway, don't you? Or pumps? Maybe not wells, maybe or maybe not.
They can kind of work on the well screen. You can't really replace the screen. You're replacing the well if the screen or the casing becomes bad.
So,
Wells can be reconditioned.
Yes.
That's true too.
That's part of the idea with the cameraing, see the condition of the screen and see if we need to do any cleaning and flushing.
And the idea would be to come up with a plan then that when we should plan on replacing those pumps or like this.
Well pump 3 has been replaced. It was replaced last year. So, we got 2 and it's 2 and 1. We should have at least pulled, inspected, camera, and then flow tested this year at least.
Where'd you get your numbers from, Ted? Did you use the meter?
I got those numbers from the operator based on the records I had. They might be a little bit old even.
Probably ought to have those tests, get some quotes for that. So, I guess on that, we would, we need to submit the reliability study to the state. It's on our checklist. Does the board want to have enough time here to, approve that study or do you want to delay that approval? Okay, discussion?
I don't think anybody here has any more expertise to critique that study than what the author had.
And EGLE,
Well,
Let them-
they're going to do it anyway.
right.
They're our backup I would suggest that we forward it to the state as is.
That a motion?
Yeah, that was a motion.
A motion to forward to the state
Support.
as submitted and Kingsley and support by Jess. Okay. Any further discussion? Moving on.
Roll call? Or just a vote?
So we need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Can I ask a question? Just to
Yes.
clarify, the height of the towers are adequate for fire response or are not?
It's. The height of the tower is adequate for fire response. It's the overall volume of the elevated tower. Along with the pumping capacities is a little bit shy of what ideally you would have. There is no like, I mean. To put a big, I mean, I think the tower was purchased used and relatively inexpensively compared to other towers. Hence that was done, I think that was done in the 80s or 90s. But I don't think there's a cause for concern. There's a number of things that have to go into that. That rule is if everyone's using as much water as possible and there's a fire. That's the kind of the condition that the state is looking at. Everyone using as much water is likely not to be happening at the same time that fire need is, in which case you have more water available for fire. That makes sense?
It does. What size fire are we talking about? I mean, a grass fire in
It's,
that unused area of the
it's-
course.
It's based on 2 hours at 1,200 gallons per minute.
So I'm not a firefighter. I don't know 1,200 gallons per minute.
That's the kind of, that's a lot of water. I can tell you that.
That's, yeah.
But that's kind of the standard that we're looking at when we do that modeling.
So does the fire department deem that to be adequate? That would be my question. They're the experts in fighting a fire.
Yeah, I mean, if there, Jessica Flintoff, Scioto Township Clerk, hi. If there's specific questions for the Scioto Township Fire Department, I'd be happy to relay those to our chief or have our chief get in contact with you for sure. I presume some of these questions are arising from the fire we had in Loch Alpine that our fire department and others, but our fire department responded to. Happy to talk to you.
And that too, and during that fire, we had plenty of water.
Yeah.
We had too much water that eroded a lot of houses.
Well, and I mean, like I said, we look at, your average day flow, like how much water you guys use in an average day. And most people use the most water at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So there's kind of a diurnal like peak that happens. And that the bar that the Eagle is looking at is that fire flow happening at the worst time. And even the projected worst time is really conservative. So it's, I don't know, it's almost, it almost puts such a negative light on what we have going on, but that's the bar. So if that makes any sense.
Decide if that, like, do you guys decide if that's enough, or who decides if that's, like, if it's a little bit low, who decides where that bar too low is to have to be?
If it were going in new, at today's standards, it would be likely the higher bar.
Yes, you'd have a bigger tank there.
And just for everybody's understanding, the standards that you're talking about are which state agencies?
Well, there's the Eagle, the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. They kind of rely on the ISO, the Insurance Services Office. So there's a couple of different things that come into play, and plus what the policy that the community sets. Some people have said higher, I want, if you have a multifamily place in Ann Arbor, I think their bar is 3,000 gallons per minute versus that 1,200. So they're looking at different numbers. So it's that 1,200 gallons per minute, but we don't want the system pressure to drop below 20 pounds per square inch so that we're maintaining a robust system without having to cause a boil of water or disinfection issues. So that's where I'm kind of going with, if everyone's using water and there's a fire, that's the 20 PSI is the lowest we can get to. But if people aren't using water, we have more, pressure there. So I apologize if that came across as that negative. Like I said, it's a conservative approach that we're doing the best we can with some imaginary numbers, frankly.
To be honest, I'd be concerned if we put a full-size tank there, the water would be very stagnant at times.
Sure, right, because
So there's, you weigh one way or the other.
right, because your average flow is more like 100 and some gallons. I don't like the number of here, but. Right, yeah, you're using 120,000 gallons a day on average. And having that peak flow rate, you're having a much bigger tank, like Dave said, it's not gonna turn over as much, you have less fresh water, so many things to balance in this equation.
Thanks.
Okay, Ted, moving forward then, can we move on? You have anything else besides looking at down the road, the future work?
I'll just give a quick update on the lead services inventory.
Okay.
We've gone through and developed a preliminary spreadsheet,
Which has to be submitted this year.
October 18th or something like that. 16th. Brandon and I will go through that ahead of the next ops meeting, and we'll know what we need to do. So like I said, we have that filled out based on the meter replacement project went into most houses, and so we able to visually see the copper in the house. So we have most of those. We did a couple projects in 16 and 17. The newer portion of the development, Delhi, and the one to the northwest, which the name is escaping me right now. Glen Devon, thank you. Those are newer, and at that point, when they were put in, there was no lead lines used, so we're taking all that stuff out and saying, here's what we need to find. So like I said, Brandon and I will put our heads together to figure that and finalize that ahead of the next ops meeting in June.
It's on the to be done list.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes to go through all that stuff, so. And the state just put their material like 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, okay, good. Next then, anything else?
Regarding the future UV project, that's on your agenda, correct?
Yes, that's the next thing.
No, so that's the only other thing I have, is that, so. The thought process of that is to, at some point, the state revolving fund loan that financed the equalization tank and pump station at the wastewater plant will be done, will be completed. And that's taking a loan payment, and, what can we do with that money to make improvements to the wastewater plant without negatively impacting rates? So looking at a filter to help with the phosphorus removal, and a UV project so that would disinfect the water with ultraviolet light versus the current chlorine and gas. So those are, a possible project. We can go after another state revolving fund loan. There's some costs associated with doing so. If it might, for a project, and we're probably round numbers $1 million for a project of this sort. It might make sense to, if either use your own money or find a way to get a loan for that versus going to the state. Because you bypass some of the federal requirements that make it more expensive.
Question on that, or for something like a filter UV project, is it, I'm assuming most of those costs are kind of one-time capital costs, or? Sure, there's gonna be, there's always operating costs, right? That $1 million is kind of a one-time cost. There's gonna be, with ultraviolet lights, it's similar technology, but the focus wavelength is the lights in here. So you have to replace bulbs and ballasts and things like that as they wear out, and maintain them. The filter needs to be backwashed, which adds some time and stuff like that. But
the filter will take out any residual solids or help take out any residual solids that phosphorus might be hiding in to help meet the limits of the TIMDL coming in. And the UV it's a good disinfection means that we can't do now without a filter because of how the plant's operated. So the filter will help facilitate the UV system, and then getting rid of the chlorine gas is, I think, a benefit to all.
Chlorine and sulfur dioxide,
Yes.
dechlorination, dechlorination. So, yeah, there's a twofold benefit to.
Right.
We'll meet our permit and we increase our safety.
So the SRF the programming part of it takes about a year to kind of develop the documents to apply for the loan. And there's gonna be costs for that project plan. Recent ones are about 30 grand, so kind of give you a ballpark for that. Then the Davis Bacon, and more concerningly is the Build America, Buy America Act. A lot of manufacturers haven't really met those requirements yet, so it's certainly driving up costs of projects in that. So that's something, I mean, maybe by 2027, it'll work itself out as things often do with the market, but currently it's a bit of a struggle.
Is there, so the money, well, this other fund or the other construction loan that we have will be paid off in 27.
Yeah.
So at that point, we could start setting aside some money.
And it would be great, and Michael, not to put you on the spot, but at some point that Wood Hill kind of, take a look at this question and give a recommendation about how you might best finance it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we don't want to look at rates, but we should look at kind of overall cost, how we can do it most cost effective.
Yeah, my concern would be inflation going up faster than our money's, we're losing money every year if we don't do it. To be honest, that's a concern I would have. Well, that's a good I think we, at this point, further discussion, we'll table it, or what's, any further discussion on this? Anyone on the board, want to hear any more on it?
Originally, you said trickling filter arm. Are you still gonna stick that in the project or not?
Yeah, we would do that, yeah.
We could set the final details go.
Right, I mean, the quotes I have for the filter and the UV don't quite get that $1 million, but I'm throwing some other stuff in and future forecasting.
Great. Did you work on the water tower cleaning /
Oh, that's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? We'll table it for now, but I think we need to, if we can maybe get our accounts manager to take a look at that, or financial consultant to look at direction.
At the last house meeting, we talked about some capital improvement planning for both the water and the wastewater system.
Yeah.
I have that old one we did, and I want to get that and update it, so we'll be ready for that for the next option.
Okay, so
That will help these guys do what they need to do as well.
carry to the next option meeting then. Okay, discuss.
And it'd be great when it's ready to have the board take a look at a refreshed capital plan. So we can-
It was pretty simple. It was a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
but
Anything else, Ted?
that's it.
Thank you. Okay, Brandon, you're on. I guess what I wanted to start with was I did receive from F&V their annual contract, operations contract, a compensation adjustment. The compensation went up according to the employee cost index Midwest region of a change of 3.7%. So the fees going up another $383 to a monthly fee now of $10,744. Any questions on that? Any further discussion? I think we got to approve that one. So I'll do a roll call vote on that.
Are you making the motion to? approve it?
Motion to approve I'll make the motion to approve
I can support that.
revised, they were at contract compensation adjustment. Second,
Sure.
vote, let's see, Kalaja,
Aye.
Flintoff,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Kingsley,
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Navar, aye, Westman.
Aye.
Thank you all, okay. Motion passes. Other major POs, anything else major you got, Brandon, PO wise, need the board approval on?
Not at this time, we don't, unless there's something I'm forgetting about, Andy. I don't know if Andy can hear me.
Oh, I don't know.
You should be able to do it.
We got meters. Oh, yeah, that's coming up. That's the next item on the agenda. Is major enough. All right, we'll move on to the meters then.
Yes, so I believe at the ops meeting, we discussed the Metron Ferner meters, and we're gonna go with, I believe, 40. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave?
Well, I'm not sure what it was. I've stuck 50 in the agenda, but I wasn't sure 40 sounds good enough. Yeah, I look at your garage, you don't have a lot of space in there.
No. And we were, Metron's ready to get us some meters. We were just waiting for your guys' approval to go ahead and get that set up.
Okay,
We also discussed to order only short meters and use adapters in place of the long meters with a short meter.
Yes.
did you have a chance to go through and estimate short meters, Brandon, or?
I did look through the list that we have, and it looks like everything was marked as a short meter, so we should be good with short meters. And Ted did point out that where the long meters were irrigation meters.
Right,
And I did not see very many of those in there, and I know Michael's been working on some irrigation meter issues as well.
okay. So, we should purchase, I think 40 is a reasonable number to start and all short meters then. With the, option or with a couple of adapters, throw in a couple of adapters and we'll see if we, how often we need those. For the board's sake, Metron is, Farner is being used to replace the same Pearl meters that we have at Dexter, at Scioto Township, Flint Water, City of Flint went away from Metron and went back to them after going shortly for a while to Badger, I think it was. Your new, the Scioto Township new manager is
Yeah.
he's from Flint?
Yes, our utility director, Brandon McNeil, he worked in Flint and the city of Playa. He did some research and our prior utility director was already moving toward Metron, but he thinks it's promising. So.
Okay. He had a reasonable experience in Flint.
Yes, he did. He had a good experience in Flint.
Okay. So, can I have a motion to purchase 40 meters and half a dozen sleeves?
I'll move that we purchase 40 meters at $385 a piece, plus 6 short to long adapters.
Okay, so we should have and that's at a cost, the meters are at $300 and some dollars a piece,
$385.
85 a piece. All right, can I have let's see, so the motion is made to purchase 40 meters at $385 plus 6 sleeve adapters. Any second on it?
Just supported it.
Or-
Oh, Jess did, I'm sorry.
You're voting on it.
Jess? All right, Kalaja then,
Aye.
Flintoff,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Kingsley,
Aye.
McLaughlin, Navarre, aye, Westman.
Yes.
Okay, so finally get the meters going. That'll be good. That's a good sign.
Brandon? Somewhere?
Yes.
What's the delivery time on those meters? I've had several people ask me this week.
I don't think it's very long. I will get a hold of Brett tomorrow.
Good.
Now that I'm stationary, I will make some notes and get a hold of him tomorrow.
That'll be great. Thank you.
Michael, he'll be doing probably, I don't know, we talked earlier at the ops meeting, maybe 2 a week or some.
Yeah,
small amount.
I have some priority people.
Okay.
I got a handful right now that I think be more than willing to get those replaced. We can work closely with them,
All right,
figure it
so-
out, get it working.
All right, so Brandon, you hear that? Check with Michael and get your list going.
Yep, not a problem.
Great. All right. Any other meter discussion? Moving on. Water tower painting was done in 2010. Recommend a plan to paint in 2025. I've also received a request from customers to clean the exterior of the tower to remove the mildew. Inspection of it, looking at it, it's pretty dark. A lot of mildew buildup, no question. We haven't got a quote yet, do we, Brandon?
No, I did get somebody else within our F&V is doing tower cleaning, and it's right around $5,000 to do it. I do have their number here somewhere now that I'm at my desk. And I got to get a hold of them to do that. But if the plan is to, I don't want to waste the money if the plan would be to paint the tower in next year, and do any upgrades or anything like that, might be better off to do the painting and upgrade if you guys want to do it next year or however you guys are thinking you want to do it.
I don't know. My kind of thoughts is you get a lot of it off this year and then next year it'll be an easier clean and Gary, but I'm not sure thoughts on that, what other people think.
I can also get an updated quote from Dixon for, all those upgrades they did in their inspection, along with a painting project, and get an updated price from them.
Well, that we can't do till tower's out, right?
Yeah, I think if you approve it and you go through, I'm pretty sure they're probably at least a year out anyway. I can check with them and see.
A year out for the painting?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's not something they do like within a month. It's planned out.
Yeah, we just went through this at the board, and what we approved a quote to repaint the water tower maybe 3 months ago. It'll be done this year, later this year. So it was about a 9-month lag,
9
but we were deciding what to paint on it. And it was actually a very quick decision at the South Township Board. You'll be surprised to hear. But it was just to put they had to kind of spec out how the letters SIO would look. So again, I just want to raise that if anybody's thinking of painting anything on it, that takes a minute.
We don't usually put anything on.
No, I wouldn't think so. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, it's not where I would vote to spend money for LASA, but I just want to put it out there.
I would suggest that we might ask Brandon to get a 2025 quote for the upgrades that were pointed out in the last inspection and, painting of the tower.
Support.
Okay, motion by Kingley, supported by Flintoff. And since there's no money, I can, just do it.
Not at this point.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Upgrade and painting of the tower. So at this point, we won't pursue cleaning.
I'll grab a couple quotes just so we have an idea.
Okay.
Yep.
One or just to get a quote.
Yeah, and one note, you all are much more expert in this stuff than I am, but one thing we decided to do for the mildew issue in SIO is paint the base of it green. Just to go with it, go with the inevitable. So paint the base green, and you notice a lot of water towers do that, where the base maybe third is a darker color.
The base or the bottom of the bowl?
And in this case, both, but at least the bottom of the bowl. But in this case, it would be both.
Yes, because Lockout Lasses is a light blue, sky blue. So therefore shows the dark surface. The other thing, Brandon, is I put on there, after following the tower, it was requesting that you develop a plan to maintain all distribution system valves. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this last fire created an issue. The initial valve at the end of the street that could have isolated the system that broke did not work totally.
Yeah, and we had to go out a little farther.
Right. We've got
It's
to,
actually, go ahead, Dave.
we've got to get a system down here. You said that data's got to be put somewhere, and we've got to realize these valves are not working, and we got to get a priority to get things back operational again. Make sure we're going to have enough surprises as it is without managing the ones we already know about.
Agreed.
Yeah, we can put something together for a valve turning program. That is definitely something we can do.
Yeah, I think you need to do that. Okay.
And I thought, and I apologize, at our last meeting, I thought I asked if we had a valve exercise program in place, and I thought the answer was yes. So what is the recent history of that? Are we up on it, Brandon, like in the last couple of years?
Not that I know of, that there's any valve turning program. I know I found a list of valves that were previously used for directional flushing. But I've never seen a valve turning program on record.
And is that part of F&B's contract, or should we make it part of F&B's contract?
I do not believe it is. It is something that we can add to the contract for renewal. I mean, it's something we could also do additionally. I can check the contract and see if it's in there. I'm not offhand. I don't believe it is, but it is definitely something we can get you a proposal for, or in the future add it to the contract. That's not a problem.
I don't know, maintenance of the facility is part of the contract.
It seems like
That's a
it,
general, that's a
Yeah.
general statement though, and this is very specific.
In
Yeah.
Dexter, we try to kill two birds with one stone when we do flushing. We turn valves at the same time, and we try to make use of directional flushing as much as possible to get all the valve turning done. We try to make that a 2-for-1 thing whenever we, in the spring and fall.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a good way to do it.
it's a regular part of the utility department in Scioto Township is to do, valve exercising.
So Brandon, can you keep up with Scioto Township?
What do you mean?
Can you keep up with Scioto Township in terms of doing the same type of program for the maintenance of our system?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I mean, the vouchering program, I gotta, like I said, I gotta check on that and see if that's written in the original contract, but yeah, that is it's not a problem for us to do.
Yeah, I think we gotta spend a little more attention to that and get with us if there's an issue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You get an update on that at our next meeting, just
Yeah.
kind of the written plan, but also just the written record of where we're at, and the plan to kind of, get up to those.
Okay.
Because certainly, you know, I mean, I did hear that was the one piece of feedback I heard from our fire chief about that happening, which happens sometimes, but if we can, avoid it, all the better.
We gotta shut
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, if we could have shut that first valve off, we would have cut a lot of erosion there.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Brandon? How's your MDEQ report deadlines coming?
Good. We met them all. Everything's been submitted. That corrosion control study's all been submitted. Everything's been taken care of and submitted. As for lead and copper sampling, I believe we have 4 left to get to meet our minimum. I know Andy's got a lot of sample bottles out there. So we are tracking who is giving us good samples so that our next round we can hit those up again.
Right, Michael, do you have any feedback on this water sampling of people that
No,
wanted
I
that?
have nothing to add on.
Okay,
Leave that to the people that do the same.
okay, I just want to make sure.
Were people who suggested, who wanted to get a sample supposed to have gotten bottles, I did.
Well, you had to have phoned Brandon and gotten on the request to. In other words, our operator, Brandon, was handling the sampling. So if you wanted it, you needed to call him and get on.
It also depends on the age of your house.
Yeah, that's true too.
It has to be built pre 1988, July of 1988, in order for it to meet the sample criteria.
Right.
Okay, thank you, I requested it, but yeah, that's why, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So if you want it sampled and you're past that date, your house is past that date, you can always get one from the health department, the county health, and they'll run a sample for you. All right, so we should be, and then you got another round of sampling to do for the next 6 months. Okay, so you're on schedule for all that lead sampling then.
Yes, we are. And so far, our 90th percentile is significantly lower. I don't know what the exact number is yet, but right now it's sitting at about 7.
Right,
So significantly lower.
okay, good. Anything else from NDEQ to report?
Nope, I do not believe so. Your CCR is being reviewed by our reviewing staff, and then once she's done with it, we will get it to Eagle for their review. And then we can work on getting that out. So I've not worked with Michael yet on getting those mailed out, but we'll definitely meet the deadline.
The deadline is July 1, right?
Yes.
CCR is just the clean water report sampling information for the system. That's July 1. Okay, operating committee minutes are enclosed in the package for your information. And I suggest board members review that, give you a little more detail. We'll try to keep trying to keep that information, that meeting more technical in nature. Current financial report is up next.
Yes, did you include the report from the operations committee?
I did.
Okay, it's the same report from the operations committee. Ryan is the one that handles all your general ledger type finances. We're on track with everything, and our next billing comes up this month, so I can provide an updated report in a few weeks. Is there any questions you have right now?
So we're in, it looks like we're pretty close tracking the budget.
Yes.
Uh,
I do have one other issue.
I was gonna say, let's see, report generated. Aged accounts receivable, page 36 of the 43 pages. Our friend Sam Gaffey's on the list. I see is not paid in a while. But these people they're only out, the farthest one is out 180 days.
Yeah, and we did roll some aged or old utility bills, 2 taxes last October. So that would have cleared some of them. And
Okay.
Yeah.
both townships. So that's one of the reasons that they only go out 180 days.
Okay, that's the max we would see, okay.
That should be, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
gonna be, there's some criteria involved that I
Mhm.
Yeah.
clerks would have a better idea. Or the treasurer. We did do that in October of last year. Or the treasurer. Treasurer. Any other questions on that right now? I do have one other issue I want to bring up. I've been contacted or in contact with a resident at 4595 West Loch, Alpine. And he had sent me 2 pictures of his meters, and it turns out that one of the meters was never replaced. It's an original census brass meter that had been apparently in the home since it was built. And we've never billed it. It's never been on their bill, and so was their.
I was just like, say again.
They have never, in all of the billing records I have, it's never appeared in their system. Ever. So it was their sprinkler meter.
Oh.
So they used about 518 units or 518,000 gallons over the past, as far as I can tell, at least 25 years. So I've been in contact with him, and we can't tell when all of this water was used. So it's not reasonable that we go back and bill them for 25 years of water when we don't know what the rates were at that point in time.
Is it the same owner for that full 25 years?
Yes,
Okay.
it appears so.
Okay.
It appears so, and so
Something's not right here. It's the same owner. He hasn't paid anything. Wouldn't he, shouldn't he be speaking up?
well, what confused me was when I first got the bill, I didn't realize that this meter was an old meter, but then I looked at it and said, wait a minute, this is the meters you replaced. So somebody went in there and put in one iPer meter and didn't replace the other one. So this should have been found 3 years ago.
They're right next to one another?
Yeah, they're right next to each other. They're in the basement. So anyway,
Oh, it might have been one of the lines that were frozen. Okay.
I can't tell you how it happened, but it does happen, things happen. So I said, I proposed to him that I would bring to the board an idea to go back, like an average is 20 units a year. So if we went back 5 years, build them for 100 units, it'd be about $450. We can close it out, and he said he doesn't know, he has nothing to prove, he hasn't been billed for it before. And I said, I have nothing to prove when you use the water. So this just seemed like a way to clear this up, and we're going to put him at the top of the list. If that works.
That sounds like a solution.
But it's $500 more than we got.
It'll pay for the meter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, so if you're okay with that, I will move forward with that. And,
Do we formalize that with a motion,
Probably should.
given the
like,
A motion to, finalize payment, or what I say, finalize payment for second meter at 4595 WLA West Loch Alpine.
yes, for a total of a back bill of 100 units at $4.50 per unit, or 450.
At 450, so that's the current rate.
Somebody make that motion? I don't think Mike can.
No, I did.
I'll make a motion. that
He's the
we-
mayor, but.
I mean, hey,
I'll support it. Okay, Navarre and McLaughlin. And I guess we gotta do a vote. We should do a vote for that one. Kalaja,
Hi.
Flintoff,
I,
Carrie,
Aye.
Kingsley,
Aye.
McLaughlin, Navarre, aye, Westman. Good.
Thank you, I'll get that bill.
And the other thing, Ryan was pushing was, Michigan class transfer, Jess and Barb, you guys are on the system apparently.
yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, Barb.
no, how did we get on there?
Good luck.
We don't know if we're on there. I'm not sure.
So I think what needs to happen is Barb and I just need to talk directly with Ryan, I guess. I mean, I apologize for the delay on it, but Barb, I think what I would suggest is a couple things that we make sure our names are properly on there, and I would suggest that this board approve, having Forest Supervisor Kingsley, but also, trustee Carey as the other Scioto Township officer, so that we have 2 signers from Scioto and 2 signers from Webster, as we have before. And then, yeah, I think Barb, we just need to connect directly with Ryan.
We'll just follow up on his email that he sent us.
Yeah, I can commit to doing that tomorrow. If you have some time, we can maybe just hop on the phone and. Cause I'm not even sure where the portal is to do that.
Okay, and then that's, I guess the concern is we're losing the 4% interest difference or whatever. That's all, that's what it.
Oh,
equates to.
absolutely, absolutely.
So the quicker we do that, the quicker lots that can make money.
Okay, and does that mean with the board's approval? I know we have the unusual situation of not having the supervisor and clerk, but Jillian Carey is our trustee, our other officer. We'd like to have 2 signers from each township, is that?
I agree. I think we
Okay.
should have 2 on both. Any other discussion on it or
Okay,
concern?
good with that, Jillian?
Good with that?
Are we making a motion to formalize that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll make a motion to, that we have two officers from each Webster and Scioto townships on Michigan class. And, on the Michigan class accounts.
So that's Flintoff in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That'll get that thing rolling. Old business, can we move on?
All in favor?
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's just an all in favor.
Yeah.
All in favor of that motion?
Money? No one?
Aye.
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 Oppose? Hearing none, meeting passed, or the motion passes. Oh, I was almost there. Old business. The good old Prospect Court fire, water main break issue. All right, so to bring the board up to speed, page 42 of the package gives you the information from LAIA, some of their questions or concerns about, and I didn't get it in the package. I put it in the meeting as a separate document in the meeting notice. The notice from Tokyo Marine that they would not, that Loch is not liable for the erosion from the broken water main, and therefore will not pay out any monies to the homeowners. And or to the Loch Alpine Improvement Association, which does the roads. Now, we have a precedent's been set on the roads though, because every time we have a water main break, which is usually in the road, we do replace the water main and dig it in the road. And then in the summertime, their pavement guy comes in and does the recompacts the top 4 feet or so and puts the finished pavement on.
So that is precedent.
So that's been a precedent been set for the public right of way, you know, the roadway areas. So in one of the bills, so we will be getting a bill from LAIA for the road replacement of stone that's eroded away.
So what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Loch Alpine Roads, you said, I read in here road commission. I thought Loch, isn't it private?
It is private. I didn't,
So how does the road commission?
there is, I'm sorry.
There's a roads committee.
Roads
Oh,
committee.
okay.
Yeah,
There, okay,
Yeah.
that makes
they have
sense.
their own roads, correct.
Okay.
Now, how does South Township do it? Does when they have water main break, I'm assuming, well, it's all
Yeah.
coming out of the same pot almost, South Township, whether it's utilities or,
That's Scioto Township.
but the roads could be county.
The roads
The
are all
roads are-
county, so South Township owns no roads.
Yeah.
So do you pay anything when you have a water main break?
No.
Do you?
Nobody's even asked us if our insurance company would cover it. And
For the
answer-
road portion or for any? Well, we had one a couple of years ago. They were asking, but I don't know what happened to it.
Not with a water main break. Oh, down there, when we were doing the Liberty Road water main.
No. Luella and, was it Burton? There was
Okay.
two. But that was under Steve. I don't know what happened with that.
Okay, what I can tell you is Scioto Township's insurance company, at least in 5 years, has never paid for any of it, never been, we've
Well-
never asked.
Our insurance company, Lassa's insurance company has never paid for either. Lassa has paid to have the roads.
So Lawson pays for it, right? And that's,
They just send us their contractor's bill for resurfacing and recompaction of the top, because it's always done in the winter time, bad condition, blah, blah, blah. So they come back in the summer and compact it properly and put the
Sure.
pavement on.
and I think that's our prerogative to do that, continue to do that if we can, if Lassa can afford to do that. I mean, it seems like it makes sense.
Okay, any other discussion on it? It seems that that's been like I say, a precedent set. As far as the homeowners go, is there any discussion on that right now? We basically said at the ops level, John made the comment, well, they're gonna have to sue us if they want to get some money from us, I think at this point.
I think the Tokyo Marine decision from the homeowners perspective is that we don't have liability. We pay them lots of money to cover our liability. In terms of the roads, historically, we've paid to have the patch done. But only the patch. I don't recall us ever paying for the shoulder work or anything else. I think we've just paid for the patch.
Well, we bring it back, well,
Yeah.
we bring it back up to grade, I mean, existing condition.
Well, we did that probably when we fixed the main and then it had to be,
Yes,
redone. Once the weather.
Yeah, and if it's not in the
permitted.
road, it doesn't have to be compacted
Yeah,
to the same degree, so.
when we get the bill.
We
we'll
have
talk
to be
about
there way
paying.
we're paying.
What is the, I mean, dollar ranges that either we're talking about in this case or kind of in the past case? If not, we can go back to.
Usually, well, I would say they're getting more expensive, you know, as you might expect. It used to be a 3-4 grand, I'd say it's 5 grand,
Okay,
a break.
We
okay.
had a break at Dexter that cost us 9 grand and that was surprised everybody. Because 5 grand was not more normal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're getting up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so, what is, so the request from the homeowners to LASA has been,
Well, they're asking if there's any coverage, if LASA's gonna provide any coverage. The one is a widow who just lost her husband and is, you know, in a tough situation,
yeah,
but,
that's unfortunately, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
on the homeowner.
So cover, just to be clear, the homeowner's asking for coverage for what? Not the road. Is-
There's stair step
no,
and a leak in the corner of the house.
picture a road that's above the peak of your house at the same elevation. Everything all the driveways come down into the garage. There's a major water main break up at the top of the hill. We can't get to it for 3 to 4 hours because we can't find the right valve to close. And water's in all the garages, eroded around the buildings, a washed out stairs going around, you know, it's all out for the most part exterior garage work, and a lot of erosion.
And their homeowner's insurance wouldn't cover that?
No, because it's considered groundwater.
Oh.
Considered, have you verified that?
Not my,
That account, okay, not your word, I was gonna say.
I'm staying on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not to be, I'm sympathetic,
Yeah.
like I really am, and I would feel terrible. You know, if this
Yeah,
were my home,
it's a bad, sad situation.
it's a sad situation, but I think as a utility, we can't start taking on homeowners' expenses.
Yeah, I kind of concur with that, but any further discussion on it? Or, they're gonna want an action, statement from us. I think, LAIA, if I read these right.
Right, yeah, Bob Sandro, sent a.
The board would like us to comment on it.
I hate to use the term governmental immunity, but that's the word or phrase that Tokyo Ring used. All I would say is that we sympathize with the homeowner, particularly in this situation. But as a utility, we don't have the resources to fix everything that a homeowner should be covered under their insurance for.
I agree with that sentiment. I would suggest it's even not just that we don't have the resources, but we don't have the mandate.
Okay, better terminology.
You know, the resources and the mandate. It's not our role. I think, you know, we did take it to our insurance company. You know, I think, you know, their analysis is, you know, responsibly what we have to stand by. Otherwise, if we, you know, it's going to hurt other ratepayers down the road, you know, when we're talking about these things, so.
So LASA does not have the mandate.
Or resources.
You don't want to create the precedent.
Yeah.
We talk about having a capital plan, right? We don't have a capital plan for this. These are the unknown disasters that happen. We can't start waiting for them.
And how often do these happen?
We have water main breaks every year, but in terms of wiping out somebody's exterior landscaping and in this particular case, stair step, I don't recall ever having something like that. We have had soft spots and lawns and things like that from actual work we were doing.
Sure.
And we restored that because of the work that we were doing. But to have a water main break, all we do is fix the water main and the immediate area of the water main. We don't go downhill and look to see where our dirt went or their dirt.
Yeah, a perfect example is the 2 weeks later, there's a leak found at the old country club maintenance garage just off the street, and it's right in the ditch almost. The leak just drains in the ditch, and there's a creek 30 feet to the right. It just drains in, no big loss. But when you're up on a hill, the situation is totally different.
When we purchase our homes, we're not thinking of everything that could happen.
Yeah, we don't look at where the water main is located. We look to see if we have water.
So Lost does not have the mandate or resources to provide any homeowner compensation. Is that an adequate statement? Or you wanna?
Well, I would say that we sympathize with their situation. But we don't have the mandate to reimburse them for damages done by our utility, secondary damages done by our utility that should be borne by the homeowner's insurance.
Or John, if we could strike that should be borne by the homeowner's insurance.
Okay,
Because that's not our expertise, right?
you are
I
correct.
think, I'm 99% sure you're right, but.
I don't know, I'll get you to write it after.
But we do sympathize. I mean, it's just,
I
it's a
understand.
matter of precedent and fairness.
I
We just can't afford to do it.
totally understand, and Andrea and I were sitting there talking to the woman at the annual meeting, and she was
Very upset.
very upset.
I think anybody would be.
Yeah, yep. And there's, just so you all know, there are 3 other houses that also file claims. So it's not just one house because it kind of runs off the
It
hill.
runs down the hill.
I mean, not that it's, I sympathize, so I'm curious, I mean, what, have all 4 of their insurance companies said no? We know?
I have only heard from the one. I do not know about the others, but I'm sure I have not heard of anyone's getting payment, receiving any reimbursement. So they all submitted for the claim, and of course, Tokyo Marine denied all of their claims independently, separately. Okay. Any other discussion on that? New business. I don't think we're anywhere there yet, but just I want to keep on the list. Loss of space on the SIO server to be determined.
Yes, and I hope to have that and an update on the payroll. I hope to get that through the board at SIO in April and back to LASA for our next meeting. So an interagency agreement so that they run the payroll, and then also it's not just the space on the SIO server, but also just kind of handling the licensing as we've talked about.
Okay. Good. Next meeting agenda.
Yeah, for action.
Okay, and then in your documents also have here that the LAIA board officially voted in Andy Adorni as the LAIA representative to the board. Andy, of course, sitting here at the table, in case you're wondering.
Welcome.
Welcome, Andrea.
And her background, of course, is that she works for the city of Dexter.
Well, you shouldn't hold that against her.
As a technical manager of the lab, managing the lab, basically.
Yeah, I'm operator in charge and I run the lab for water and wastewater.
And wastewater, and water, okay. So you have the license?
Yeah, I get to sign things.
Okay. Well, you can sign for Lawson now. Just kidding. All right, so with that, and they said effective when Mr. Navarre steps down, which I was planning on doing at the conclusion of this meeting.
Oh, I didn't bring cupcakes.
Oh.
I had enough candy yesterday for the world. So I will be doing that, I guess. I guess that's pretty straightforward. And then, I don't know, you want to follow, does she have to be sworn in or anything to the committee?
I think you probably have to swear her in. I don't know. The township, we have to have oaths of offices. It says that we're going to uphold the laws of the state and so on. I don't see anything in our bylaws that says anything about that.
I never swore in.
I never was.
I never was.
So,
I
okay,
think this is just a little bit of hazing, actually.
That's fine.
all right. And I guess so for your next meeting, does the group want to appoint someone to put the next meeting together then, or chair the group or whatever?
It says Kingsley.
Well, I had a note there, yes. I just
Well,
want
I
to make
think
sure.
you have to elect somebody, but I think they have to be nominated first. And I see all sorts of people sitting around here that would like to do that.
Yeah,
What about you,
you wanna, you wanna leave that for next meeting, or you wanna? Well,
Would you be
can't.
interested, Jessica?
I would be happy to help a more experienced and knowledgeable member. I would be happy to help, say, pull together meeting packets, things like that. I'm happy to attend the operating committee. I don't have that type of, historical knowledge
But you
that the
do.
mothers on this board do, but I would be happy to do,
Well, if you'll do the packets, I'll run the meetings.
I think that sounds like a good team.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
good breakup of the.
co-chairs.
Yeah, co-chair.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think there is such a thing as a co-chair.
what is there?
Well, we don't have updated bylaws, but if we do have them, we could write that in.
Sounds good. I'll do the packets, you run the meetings.
Okay.
Kingsley.
Great.
Is that official? Do we need a motion?
And I'd like to nominate Supervisor Kingsley as chair, to run the meetings, and, myself, to assist, preparing the packets,
I'll second
et
that.
cetera.
Oh, do we need an individual vote? And I guess we can do that with voice vote. Voice vote? Will you agree, Collegiate,
Aye.
Flintoff,
Hi.
Gary,
Hi.
Kingsley,
Abstain.
McLaughlin? Aye.
Much interest.
Doherty
I,
and Westman.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be a good examination. Anything else, public comment? I'm sorry, is there anything as we wrap down, is there anything in particular you want to give us your names or comments or anything?
So I'm Francie Quayle,
And we're both from North Delhi Hills.
Great. So I was gonna be the representative from North Hills. I'm sorry, I just have an engagement at 6:30, but.
Oh, Northville Hill?
North Delhi.
No,
All
we're-
right, we need
North
to,
Delhi, or North Delhi.
we need to get you on the, contact list,
Yes.
which is on the LASA site.
Can I get your sworn in and all that?
No,
We're still working on that.
Okay, great. Otherwise, then, great, Quayle.
let's see, I have talked to you. I talked to
What is this?
meter, that's a backup meter, the other meter purchase. And that one is that's the air compressor, air dryer we bought every for.
Okay,
It's
so
just a,
where, did we need to vote on these?
well, it was a small amount, it's already done. I just included it.
Oh, okay.
And that
Because
was the alternate to the Metron fare.
Okay,
Okay, so we had two prices and that's the one we did not choose
okay,
on the Badger.
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just thought maybe we.
I'm trying to manage through the board.
When's our next meeting?
Next meeting is on the agenda there, June
June
24th.
14th.
June 20,
Oh,
oh,
I'm
wait a
sorry.
minute,
That's wrong.
June 24th at 5 p.m.
This is your last meeting then.
Yeah, so this is my last meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Free.
Thanks so much for all your service.
Well,
Andrea's got a coat on. What does that mean?
Yes, the,
That means,
Really, do you wanna?
You're
Adjourn
part
or
of the.
something?
I have to pick up my daughter, you know.
Yeah, she's
that-
gotta
go.
I,
You wanna make a
Make a
motion to
motion.
I
adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Wow.
all in favor?
I.
Aye.
I.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you for all your help
Yeah.
and service.
Yep.
Dave, come see
Enjoy
us.
Big round of Catherine Day.
I'm trying to get to it, but I might forget the meeting time.
Congratulations, you survived public service.